7 ways to become an effective CEO. What makes an effective CEO? Whether it is for a multinational company or a small startup, being a CEO is a task that does not come easy. The operations and administration of the company come directly under your supervision. So, writing the title next to your name is cool, but what are the responsibilities? Here are the 7 ways to become an effective CEO according to the people who have hacked the trade code. 7. Cut red tape. The red tape in business refers to an official procedure that is often excessive and complex and further entrenches bureaucracy. Those many hours and weeks of filing forms that end up nowhere should be thrown out the window. A CEO primary attention is to simplify procedures and make cumbersome bureaucratic steps disappear. Red tape is why the public service is one of the most ineffective places to do business. Sadly, you cannot avoid getting a driver's license and filling all those forms that are unnecessary. So if you could skip those public service organizations, everyone would. People come to you to avoid all the public sector hustle, and you should not reinforce it. Michael Olson, retired CEO of IKEA, spoke about these procedures. He explained that the long process could only make customers fatigued. So instead, he prioritized simple online processes. The fields collecting data could be autofilled with information already available on cart details or sign-in details. That made shopping at IKEA the best experience for many people who did not want to fill in shipping details for hours. Cut red tape and bureaucracy if you want to become an effective CEO. 6. Increase pay. What will make your employees work better than giving them more money? We are yet to find out. Many companies are making massive gains even through the pandemic and global economic shutdown. There are industries like live streaming, delivery services, and tech making more money than ever. This does not often get into the pockets of the poor minimum wage workers. As your business expands, you need to realize that your paperwork does not come close to the employees who get their hands dirty to make your business profit so much. Whenever there is news of multi-billion companies making more money, we never hear of their staff getting pay increases, which is a bad look on all the CEO. Some of these employees cannot even afford shares in the companies they work in. In 2021, Amazon, Costco, Target, and BlackRock announced an 8% increase in their hourly wages for employees. That showed appreciation to the resilient workforce that made them record their highest profit margins ever. This motivation will ensure that they work harder and record more successes for their company. So if you want the company you manage to be a success story like the ones mentioned, it is time to consider periodic pay increments. Again, what is more motivating than more money? 5. Don't keep underperforming staff. Sentimental attachments to employees are an understandable human emotion. It becomes a problem if you let these connections blind you from seeing the clear performance imbalances of these employees. This situation becomes more pressing when you have worked with them since you built the company as a struggling startup. However, unmotivated staff with the capability of running your business down need to go. There is no way to say this more nicely. Some employees will not treat customers right or have bad interpersonal relationships in the workplace. Those need to go as well if you want to build your dream team. Jack Welch, the former CEO of GE, explained that the most challenging yet most necessary work as a CEO is to ensure that all your staff is doing their best for the company. If that is not the case, they need to exit so that more talented and self-motivated people get a chance to help grow the business. You cannot pay people who add no value to the company. Get rid of the underperforming staff and increase the pay of your best staff. 4. Increase employee training. We could consider this a follow-up on the last point. When you have cut down all the underperforming staff, it will help to increase the capacity of those who are remaining. It will also be easier to fund all this training because you would have let go of the fillers at the office. The training could come in various forms. They should all not be employees sitting in the conference room and listening to a long lecture. Hubert Joly, Best Buy CEO, says that he realized the relevance of employee training in 2012. At the time, he thought that they were costly and produced little results. However, the impact of employees having ununiform skills cost the company lots of money. The few bad nuts in the group are a disaster for the whole company, as we have already established in the previous points. The same way that a few people not knowing things, although they are good employees, will cause a massive crisis in the business. This training is going to give all staff the same information and education to carry out their duties. So start planning the training sections if you want to become an effective CEOs. 3. Better communication. Communication is the key in every relationship, including a working relationship. All your employees must be furnished with information to optimize performance. It does not matter how much you think you have said in the meeting. A follow-up email with the details will be the best for reference and guidance when your employees are implementing the things discussed. Better communication also means that you, as the CEO, should read books and perfect your speaking skills. Being emotionally aware is a trait that every effective CEO harnesses to ensure that their employees feel left out or discriminated against. Minorities in terms of race, gender, sexuality, and disability deserve a better tone and self-awareness when being addressed. Strategically planning your communication channels and content will ensure that you are in good standing with your employees. They will be happy to work their utmost best to contribute their part to the company's success. If you hold this point well and allow for smooth communication, the rest of the things on this list will even be communicated by your employees to make the business progress. George Lossius, Publishing Technology CEO, does not water down on written communications and feedback. It says it right there in the email. Nobody can feign ignorance. 2. Cut working hours. The average employee will ask for more hours to earn more. It is only fair that they are given this opportunity, but it shouldn't come at the expense of those who need rest. People have their priorities, and they respond to them accordingly. Giving people the liberty to tie their own lives into their work schedules makes for more effective performance. The working hours should not be the same for everyone. There should be a higher emphasis on output than working hours. When you prioritize output, you will be shocked at how your employees will finish the same amount of work that takes them 2 days in 2 hours. And that is what you are aiming for. Employees knowing they can go home once they finish their work is one of the highest motivation points. They work twice as hard and finish tasks quickly. Denise Morrison, CEO of Campbell's Soup, shared her experience with her employees. As a soup kitchen, she didn't think it was necessary to put everyone in the office to wait around till the clock struck 6 p.m., and the impact of her decision became a best practice in the soup kitchen industry. Employees attended their life emergencies without asking for time off because they already had all the time they needed to be off if they finished their part of the job. It is revolutionary. 1. More or unlimited holidays. We cannot speak enough about giving your employees enough time to rest. The common misconception among CEOs is that a consistent work schedule will provide consistent performance for all employees. This is not the case. People have different ways to exceed their goals and expectations, and they are all not tied to sitting in the office all day long. Take the pandemic as an example. We have learned that many companies that force people to come to work could survive on a remote basis. This also gave way to more persons living with disabilities and unique chronic diseases to be gainfully employed since they worked at their comfort. People not coming to work does not mean that they stop working altogether. Netflix offers unlimited holidays to its staff, and we see how they make a killing with sales annually. The company's only policy is that you can take up unlimited holidays if you can still do your job on time. So that is remote employment. When employees are met with this level of flexibility, they work harder and produce maximum results. Think about it. If you were an employee, wouldn't you feel cared about being offered more holidays? I bet you would do everything to stay with such an organization. Giving you a list of the ways to become an effective CEO is the easiest part. What is difficult is ensuring that you follow these steps. Since you are still watching the video, we take it as your eagerness to see yourself become an effective CEO. What other ways do you know to become an effective CEO? And which of these steps are you already implementing? Please let us hear from you in the comments.